Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Elizabeth, thank you so much for introducing me. And I'm joined here by my daughter, Claire, who's in the back, and very proud that she's here at 3 Parks tonight. And I am actually a resident of this neighborhood. I live at 103rd, just down the street here, at 103rd. And where's Ken? I'm the Manhattan District Attorney. I want to talk with you briefly about our office, and I'm here obviously because I'm running for re-election this fall for a second term, and I would like your support. I'm privileged to have your support, and I'll tell you a little bit about what's driving me in thinking about my work as district attorney. When I ran for office in 2009, it was clear to me that the DA's office, which is a huge business, we have 100,000 cases a year that come through our office. That's more cases than the entire United States Department of Justice handles nationwide in a year. And that comes through our office every year. We have 535 lawyers. But our business, the things that challenge and confront us today are really rapidly changing, just like they are for the people in this audience. Whether you're for a not-for-profit, whether you work for a business or a law firm, or you're an artist, your world has changed dramatically in the last 10 to 15 years. The same thing is happening with crime. Crime trends, the way people commit crimes are changing day by day, minute by minute, and today, to be effective in modern law enforcement, we have to embrace innovation as a prosecutor's office in order to challenge the issues that confront us. The second thing I want to talk about besides innovation is the importance of partnership in getting that job done. Because prosecutors alone can't solve the problems of crime. They have to do it in partnership with the communities and others in law enforcement, and that's where we have success in work as prosecutors. I'm going to give you one area where we have innovated significantly. Everybody in this room, if I asked you, well, what do you think of when you think of a crime scene? You probably are like me. You think of 2 squad cars rolling up on a street corner, lights blaring, yellow crime scene tape wrapped around a storefront where there might have been a shooting. That's really not the crime scene of the 21st century. The crime scene of the 21st century is the internet. There is every single crime that occurs in Manhattan literally has some electronic footprint. We just took down 63 gang members in East Harlem last week. 3 gangs that were warring with each other, shooting residents and shooting at each other and killing people. And the way we solved that case was being technically competent in order to do research on how the gang members were communicating with each other on the internet. So for our office, being competent in the 21st century is critical in order to do our job of enhancing public safety. Identity theft, cybercrime, these are the fastest growing trends of crimes in the country, and certainly in Manhattan. I've been a victim of identity theft, and if I asked this audience, have you or someone you know been a victim of identity theft, probably everybody's hand would go up. And it happens particularly in those communities with the elderly and the immigrant communities because people are responding to phishing emails and getting lured into revealing private identity. So our offices have to be competent in cybercrime. We opened the Cybercrime Bureau. We have 10 full-time prosecutors now who are chasing cyber criminals in organized international cases from Belarus to the Ukraine to Eastern Europe, all over the world, trying to steal money and other things from people in Manhattan. We also deal with 200 or 300 identity theft cases a month that come in from street arrests. So our innovation in cybercrime has been key, and we've done a good job in the DA's office in the last 3 to 4 years responding to that crime trend. We've opened our own cybercrime lab. Let's talk about partnership. The City Council has given us money. We put in some of our own money. Borough President put in money. We are the only DA's office in the state that has their own cybercrime lab now to deal with a high volume of forensic evaluations we need to do of computers and PDAs. So, cybercrime, innovation, partnership. Second area I want to talk about is domestic violence. Domestic violence is one of the trends in crime that has not gone down. It's obviously personally important for me as the DA to make sure we make progress in protecting women and other victims of domestic violence, men and women. And we have, in partnership with the city again, now going to be opening up a family justice center in Manhattan where victims of domestic violence in one place can go report a crime, speak with a police officer, and at the same time get city services, orders of protection, emergency housing, medical help, and economic advice because they're often victimized where their accounts are depleted by the partner who's stealing from them. So we are very focused on domestic violence, but we are also innovating in the way that we're helping victims of domestic violence. And finally, what I'd like to talk about in my remaining 2 minutes is the flip side of all this, because I could talk for hours. We deal with international terrorism, we deal with multi-million-dollar thefts, we deal with securities fraud, all sorts of stuff, but I can't talk about all that tonight. But what I can talk about is how important it is for me as the DA to tell you that we need to be aggressive prosecutors. But what I care about is driving crime down. Some of that work we do in the courtroom, but we also need to invest in programs that keep our kids out of trouble. Because if I can prevent a crime, I would much rather do that than prosecute. One example of how we are dealing with crime prevention strategies. I'm a member of the Police Athletic League Board, and I was shocked to learn that the gym on 119th Street and Manhattan Avenue was closed on Friday nights for lack of funding. So we went and got money. We took the money we seized from drug dealers, and we partnered with the NYPD and the DEA, and we hired professional basketball trainers called Pro Hoops. These are the guys that pros hire to be better pros, and college ball players hired to become pros. And we brought them into Central Harlem, and we offered it free on Friday and Saturday nights to boys and girls 12 to 18 years old, 5 to 9 p.m. when they're most at risk, and Friday and Saturday when the kids are at risk. Within a month, we had 250 kids coming every Friday and Saturday night with their parents in the house. It worked so well. It worked so well in Central Harlem. We opened up another site in the Henry Street settlement in the Lower East Side. That worked so well, we opened up another site in Eastern Harlem, Johnson Houses. And that worked so well, we opened up another site in Northern Manhattan. We now have 1,000 kids signed up for this program. And everybody's welcome. We have kids who come from New Jersey, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, because they know that on Friday and Saturday nights they can not only get training and have an experience that you have to be a millionaire to get otherwise, but it's a safe place to be. And so we are very proud to be working with the kids, the parents. We're providing educational tutoring for kids who want it on top of this. We call it Advocate to Graduate. So as long as we have the kids in the gym, we want to make sure that we're giving them the skill sets to keep them in school so that they have all the opportunities that we want to give them. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to take questions if it permits, but I'm honored to be the DA. I want to continue to be the DA in the future, and I thank you for your support. Sure.
Since we are a political club, would you please speak about political corruption?
Okay.
And in particular, legislation yesterday, which was introduced, I think you were at the press conference as head of the New York State Association of District Attorneys.
I'm the head, in addition to being Manhattan DA for this year, I am president of the District Attorneys Association for the state of New York. There's 62 DAs because there's 62 counties in New York. Liz, to answer your question, we have seen in the recent weeks very aggressive enforcement on the federal side in cases involving political corruption in New York State. You all have read the same headlines I have. And the reason why we need new laws in New York State is because the New York State prosecutors do not have the same laws that the federal prosecutors have in order to make the kinds of cases and do the kinds of investigations that are resulting in these charges. It's as simple as having 62 cops on the beat and not 3 cops on the beat, where every district attorney in the state of New York ought to be empowered with change laws that deal with bribery. The laws now really prevent effective prosecution of bribery because of the state statutes. We need new laws to help us conduct investigations with greater access to information. So I obviously was a strong supporter of the bill. I stood with Governor Cuomo yesterday when he announced the bill, and I think that the people of New York expect honesty and ethical behavior in elected officials, and it's time that our laws caught up with reality. And so that's why I'm supporting the laws the Governor proposed yesterday and that we worked on with the District Attorneys Association.
The question was, how does he feel about stop and frisk?
You know, the DA's office, there is no ends justifies the means principle that guides our work. If a case that comes into our office, we review every case that comes into our office, and if we find that the stop and seizure was not based upon constitutional principles, we may have to, and we do, often dismiss cases. So it's our job as DAs, we're not out on the street with the police officers, and we're not able to direct police officers in where they go when they're in neighborhoods. But once cases come in, it's our job to make sure that the cases are reviewed so that they're handled constitutionally. Where we see police officers who have abused the process, and there was a case that we have prosecuted since I've been the DA, where in northern Manhattan, police officers were fabricating the facts that they were providing to the court and to the prosecutors about the stop of vehicles and pedestrians, and lying about it. We have prosecuted the officers for perjury, and those officers have gone to jail. So where we see abuses of the system that rise to criminality, our office has prosecuted. But I also believe, to answer your question, that there's really, you know, fundamentally these issues boil down to social justice and racial justice questions. And my view on this is, what I've tried to do is understand whether we have problems in the DA's office that we need to confront. So I went to the Vera Institute of Justice, which some of you may have heard of. It's a consulting group that deals with social justice, criminal justice issues. I've asked them to come in and study our plea bargaining practices, our charging practices, and our bail practices. I believe that we handle our office. I believe our prosecutors are hugely well-intentioned, do a phenomenal job. But sometimes you need an outside person to come in and take a look at how you're handling your practices to see if there's anything going on that you're not aware of. And so they're going to ultimately come and advise us in a report as to whether or not any of our practices reveal problems with racial bias in our office that are not yet aware of, and so we can deal with it. So it's obviously a critical issue, and in the DA's office, we obviously believe that only cases that are based on constitutional stops, searches, and seizures should be brought to courts, and that's how we handle our business.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I answered